I have time today, so I'm trying to answer as many questions that have been sent to my inbox that I possibly can. So, to answer this particular question about your loans that you believe they may be in default because your credit score has dropped, not only that, there are payments that you feel that have not been accounted for based on, I'm assuming, information that you've seen via your student aid account or through your loan servicer, that makes you question the balance that is on your student loan. So multiple things here. First and foremost, we want to make sure that we are actually in default on your federal student loans, because you'll know once you log into your student aid account, you'll see it. If things will be in red, it'll let you know who the agency is that is now handling the account. So it will be very clear when you log into your student aid account if those loans are in default. Another thing that you want to check while you're verifying if these loans are in default, if your loans have not been consolidated, you want to see what loans are in default. If it's all the loans, if there's potentially a loan that's hanging out there that may not be in default, a loan that you can take care of before it hits that delinquent or defaulted status. But you want to reach out to the agency that is over the loan, who is now handling the loan. And that way you can make sure that you can start the process of rehabilitation, okay? That's the first thing that you want to do, because you don't want any further collection activities to start on the loan. Now, as far as payments that you made, you can request your payment history, not only through from the Department of Education and your loan servicer, but also the agency. If the loan is in default, the agency who is handling the account now, you can request those documents from them, because there's a balance that they are trying to collect on. And you want to make sure that the balance that they are collecting on is correct, that it is an accurate balance, and that is exactly what you owe. So you want to request that payment history so that way you're able to see what payments that have been made on the account. Also check your own documentation. I know for a lot of borrowers, you've had student loans for years and years, so payment records may not be fully accessible. But like I said, request that information from the agency that is handling the account. You can request it from the Department of Education, and also you can request it from the loan servicer, okay? There are notices that should have been provided to you prior to this loan going into default. And I know there's a lot that's happened with COVID-19. There's been multiple payment pauses. There's just been a lot that has happened. But you want to make sure that your contact information is up to date in the student aid account. So that way, if there were notices that were sent out to you that you may not have received, then you can kind of gauge why you may not have that information. But if there are notices that you have not received, then you can also ask them, when were those notices sent out to you? Because mind you, there's procedures and processes to everything. And these are things that have to happen. They have to do their due diligence to make sure that they've done their part and followed the law with coming after you to collect on this balance. But what you can do is ask them when those notices were sent. Where did they send those notices to? Were they sent to an address that may have potentially been old? Was it sent to an email address? Because if it is something that you may still have, you can go back and look just to verify it for yourself. Not only that, when the information has been reported to the credit reporting agencies, they are now subjected to the FCRA. And not only that, they're a debt collector, which means they're subjected to the FDCPA. Again, more processes and procedures that have to be followed while they are attempting to collect on the debt. But like you mentioned, as far as with payments, that there's payments that may have been made that may not have been accounted for. And when it comes to these agencies, this guarantee agency that is now over the defaulted loan, reporting information to the credit reporting agencies, that means that we're now, like I said, we're dealing with the FCRA, and there is procedures with the FCRA that the information that they report has to be accurate, it has to be complete, and it has to be verifiable, which means that if you have made payments and they have not documented those payments well, or they missed a payment, that balance isn't correct, this is information that they have to go back to the Department of Education to verify, to make sure that it is correct, because they can't report anything that is false to the credit reporting agencies. They can't report inaccurate information. So so don't give up. I know it's a lot, but just start there with getting the information, and then doing your checks and balances. But first and foremost, get the loans out of default if they are in default, but still in that process, request those things that you need to help you verify the information.